usually come at a time when things look so hopeless that the only possible solution is something incredible, something unbelievable. And our next story is a good example of just such a situation. On the afternoon of October 15th, 1993, John Willison climbed aboard his single-engine plane for a routine flight. He didn't know it at the time, but his life was about to change dramatically. An experienced pilot, John had logged hundreds of hours of flight time. Today, he would be towing an advertising banner behind his plane. But when he flew the plane low enough to pick it up, he missed. Before he made a second pass, John banked the plane sharply to check that the cable wasn't tangled.
By looking at the hook, I wasn't looking at what I was doing, and I'd pulled the stick back a little bit, and the nose kept climbing.
The plane went into an accelerated stall. One look at the altimeter, and John knew that he was seconds away from plummeting to Earth.
I knew if I had a stall, things were going to happen awful fast.
He quickly tightened his shoulder harness, and that's when he experienced a series of events he will never forget.
All of a sudden, I heard in my headset, "John, everything's going to be all right." And just a tremendous peace came over me. As I was headed toward the ground, all of a sudden, I see two people standing on the ground. And I thought, I don't want to hit anybody, and how did they get out here over on the east side of the airport on the grass? I thought they were people, and then just before I hit the ground, I hit right where they were standing, I realized that was celestial beings. That's when I realized that there was a presence there to catch my fall. And I actually hit the ground totally at peace.
Eyewitnesses estimate that the plane crashed at more than 70 miles per hour. The impact ruptured the main fuel tank, and the aircraft immediately burst into flames. And then, John saw a vision, what he can now only describe as an angel.
And I remember looking up and going all the way up and going, wow. And he had on a tunic-looking outfit and had long blonde hair. I couldn't see his face, but it was an angelic being standing there. And I remember thinking, why is this fire not touching me? And then all of a sudden, smoke started coming inside the cockpit and started filling up the cockpit where I couldn't hardly see. I look over here and I see a face. He started breathing on me, just breathing. And I remember leaning forward to breathe his breath because I would think, why am I not choking? This is pretty strong smoke in here.
Jerry McAdams was the first person to reach the crash site.
I could see John. There was smoke inside there where he was. He was in a totally enclosed environment. And I don't really see how he remained conscious, to be honest with you. He just reached up one time and just hit his hand like that and hit the latch perfectly. Knocked it open, didn't even look at it. And so I was able to pull the latch open. And I remember thinking, boy, this is hot.
We're talking seconds from the time they rolled me out of the airplane and we got away from that plane. All of a sudden, that plane blew up. And it was a towering inferno. And I remember stopping and looking at that and thinking, I am alive. I remember sitting there on the ground thinking, I was just seated right there where all that fire is, and I'm alive.
Within minutes, John was airlifted to the Harris Methodist Fort Worth Hospital. His attending physician was Dr. Raymond Ferris.
The fact that he was able to survive the G-forces of this crash and in this cockpit and protected and get out in time before the fire started, that really is remarkable.
John's injuries were confined to his face. Amazingly, for as long as he had remained inside the burning plane, tests revealed that there was no smoke in his lungs or blood.
Well, I think the faith that John had and the experience that he had before, during, and after the accident made his attitude such a positive attitude that there's just no way to keep him down from that.
Things like this really do confirm your faith. When you see stuff like that happen, you realize that, there is a God out there and he's watching over us. And things like this are proof to me.